Okay, so this is Kiev Peshcherk-Lavra, and the question is, why is it important for Slavic spirituality? And to understand a little bit of why it's important for Slavic spirituality, you have to look at its history. It was built in Kievan Rus, and it was located in the center in the 12th century. So going back 900 years, that means for 900 years, this was the monastery that people looked towards for influence. When Slavic people were considering how to conduct their own monasteries, they had Kievan Rus, Peshcherk-Lavra, or Kiev Peshcherk-Lavra as a prime example. The monastery itself is impressive because it's actually rather large. Here it appears large on the outside, but if you actually go underneath, it's even larger because there's tombs. And because it's so old, the historian Nestor the Chronicler is actually buried there. So how fitting is that for Slavic spirituality? The person who wrote the history of the Slavic people is a monk, and he's buried in this monastery. So the second question asked me to identify some of the key figures of the Kiev Theological Academy. And the first would be Yaroslav the Wise, who is the founder. He's also just kind of famous for being the son of Volodymyr. Moving on here, we also have Yov Boretsky, who was famous for opposing the Union, or Greek Catholic Church, the Union of Brest, with his work Precautions, or at least that's rumored, and he's also the founder of the Kiev Brotherhood and the Kiev School. Epifany Slavenetsky was famous as a poet and a translator, and also a theologian. He left a huge written heritage, which is why he's included on this list. Miletny Smoretsky is famous for having the Slavonic grammar, which is important. And Lazar Baranovich is famous for being a lector and also a teacher in the academy. He wrote several books, and yeah. Petro Mohila later merged the school with the Kiev Theological Academy and transformed it into the Kiev Mohila Academy College, or Kiev Mohila College. This is considered to be the successor of the same school founded by Yaroslav the Wise, but was later shut down by the Soviets. I'm sorry, not the Soviets, the Russians. And now Teothan Prokopovich was influenced by Protestantism, which is unique. And that's all I have now. To answer the third question, why is Maniavsky Skyt called Ukrainian Mount Athos, it's important to know that the founder, Job of Manieva, had formerly been a monk at Mount Athos. He wanted to live a life of hesychasm and live in isolation, so he took what he learned at Mount Athos and brought it with him to the Carpathian Mountains. In addition to this, there were a number of monks later on of notable nature who were also from Mount Athos, who would go on to reside at Maniavsky Skyt. At the time, this affiliation with Mount Athos gave the monastery a sense of legitimacy.